So I'm talking about writing curriculum. First doing the Bible content verse and then the theme, then we'll cut to the other part. Okay. I think I got it. Bible, biblical content / verse and the theme. Or are we recording?
Yeah.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Curly Fry. Today we're talking about writing curriculum. This is one of my favorite things to do. In fact, it's actually how I got involved in children's ministries. Back in, I believe it was 2008, a while ago, my mom was the children's pastor at our church for K through second grade. And she was given curriculum, but it was really outdated. It was from the 80s, even maybe the 70s. It was really old. And so a lot of the applications didn't fit for kids then. And so she asked me, hey, would you come in and try to rewrite this curriculum? We want the same content, but just kind of update it. And so that's how I got started in kids ministries. And I haven't left ever since. And so writing curriculum is one of my favorite things to do. So here are some tips that you can use to write your own. So the first step to writing your own curriculum is identifying the biblical content or the text, the scripture text, that you want to teach during that series. Now what I prefer is to do a series for the entire month, so it'd be 4 to 5 weeks. Now depending on if you're into December, because you hit Christmas and New Year's, it could be less, 3 or 4, not necessarily 5. It depends on how many weeks you have that you're available with the kids. And we're going to talk about what I love to do during those months in a later video. But identify the text, and then from that text you want to pull your remember verse or your memory verse, because that'll help the kids better remember what you taught during that time. But then that's when you want to theme your series. You pick the content first and then the theme. Now the theme can come directly from the text, or you can create almost anything you want. Like for example, years ago we were teaching on the life of Joseph. And we did a parody of Get Smart. This was literally back in like 2000, I believe it was 2008, 2009, when I first started in curriculum. And the movie Get Smart had just come out with Steve Carell. And so we chose to go with that theme. Now you go, okay, spies and Joseph and his horrible life in jail and serving and all this stuff. It doesn't really go, but that's okay. It doesn't necessarily have to. There are things that you can pull from the text to kind of go along with that. So once you've identified the content that you're going to teach from, the scriptures, and then your memory verse and the theme, step number 2 will be to write an outline. Now this outline is mainly for you. It's kind of an at-a-glance page, a scope and sequence, to help you understand where you're going to go through the entire month or the series. And there's 3 things that you need to write down. First of all, for every single week, you need to write down the specific scripture references you're going to be teaching from, the main points, which is the main idea that you want the kids to take away from that lesson, and then of course the title. You write all 3 of those things down, and every single week it'll be a great reference for you to go back to. So steps 1 and 2 are probably the easiest parts of writing curriculum. Now the hardest is step number 3, which is writing the lessons. And of course that can be the funnest part as well. Or more fun, is that the word? I don't know, I'm using funnest. So, in writing your lessons, you want to write one for every single week, and be sure to weave the theme throughout every single lesson with the scriptures as well. So if you're doing a spy theme, be sure to use spy references like double agents or drop points or the technology, the super cool gadgets that they use. Try to weave that in and out, because that'll bring the theme, and it'll help the kids remember what you're teaching as well. Now step number 4 is probably my favorite part of writing curriculum, and it's all the extra stuff that you add into the service. So what I would always try to do is add some type of puppet skits or live action skits, or find videos or even pre-record videos for the kids to watch during the service. Now they're not just random stuff, you want them to go according to your main points or the scripture reference or even the memory verse. A lot of times we would use the puppet skits to help teach or reinforce the memory verse that we were teaching the kids every month. And then live skits would be kind of a parallel to the scripture that we're reading. So, for example, when we did Get Smarts, I had Agent Smarts kind of going through the same thing that Joseph was at the same time, so that kids could see it play out in this spy world, but then we also see it play out in the Bible and how the application can work for both of them, and then even in the kids' lives as well. And then you also want to plan the games. Now you always want to have just a fun game just for fun. But sometimes you can have them very specific to the theme. For example, we would have a memory verse game where we would print the verse very, very tiny in different strips of paper, and they'd have magnifying glasses, and they have to go through and put it together with their magnifying glass with tiny, tiny words. That was a lot of fun for them. But also we would do a fun game where they had to guess the criminal. So we'd give them clues, kind of like the game Guess Who, and so it was fun for them to do that. That was just for fun. But the last thing that you also want to remember is the object lessons for the offering. Now, what I love to do is to tie the offering into the theme, not necessarily what we're teaching for the month, but just the theme. So for example, a few months ago, we did a series that was pirates. And so I used treasure and a spyglass for the object lessons in the offering, so that it's all themed and the kids get it and they're still learning the reasons why we give. Well, that's all that I have for you this week. If you have any questions on writing curriculum, I'd love to help you out. You can always email us at caleb@curlyfry.org. I'd love to help you out as much as I can, because writing curriculum is my favorite. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great Sunday in Kids Ministries, and we'll see you guys next week.